Hi, my name is David, and welcome to the program of Exercise 7. The whole program consists of 4 parts, or shall I say files. The card file, or class, which is the blueprint of any blackjack card, the deck of cards class, which contains the 52 cards, the Blackjack UML class, which is the main class, and finally, the card type.txt containing every card combination of suit and value. Well, let's dive in, shall we? To understand the main class, I'll run you through the card file and the deck of card file first. The card class is the blueprint for any blackjack card. It has 2 private attributes, the suit of the card and the value of the card. We have methods serving as getters and setters for the private attributes. What this is doing is getting the card suit and card value from outside the class and setting them to the corresponding private attributes. Finally, we see the constructor object initializing the 2 private attributes with the arguments received, setting the private attributes with the outside values in the arguments. The difference between the getter and setter methods with the constructor is that the constructor sets the private attributes with the outside values while the time of creation, while the getter and setter methods can get and set the private attributes anytime after creation. Over at the deck of cards class, we create the array list of cards named all cards. The class contains 3 methods: the add cards to deck method, the get and remove card from deck method, and the shuffle method. Over at the add cards to deck method, we read the file and add a card to the array list, 1 per line in the file. For that, we use a file input stream to the input file and the scanner to read each line. I do that with a while loop, iterating when there is more to read. I assign each line in the file to the string s. But because each line consists of 2 words, we can't simply assign each line to a string. We have to assign each word to a string instead of the whole line. So I keep the string s to each line. However, I create 2 more strings for each word: the card value to represent the value of the card and the card suit to represent the suit of the card. I assign the substring from index 0 to the first occurrence of the comma character to card value, and the substring from the occurrence of the space character +1 to represent the first letter of the second word to the length of the whole line to card suit. Next, I create an object, card, to represent the current card with the parameters card value and card suit, and add it to the array list all cards. We finally have the scanner and the file input stream. Next, we have the method get and remove card from deck, which allows to get and remove a card from the deck, or in other words, to play a card. I am doing this by getting the first card in the deck and then returning it after I remove it. The method shuffleDeck simply uses the shuffle method of the collections class to shuffle the cards in the all cards array list. Lastly, we have the constructor of the class, which simply adds the cards to the deck. Now, let's see how all of this comes together in the main class Blackjack UML. It starts off by creating the file cardtype.txt. It does this by calling the createInputFile method that I define later in the code. Here we create a new deck of cards object named deck. Here we have the scanner declared, the caption, and the scanner initialized to get the integer input from the user. Here we call the shuffleDeck method from the deck object, and here we create a for loop to print the amount of cards the user inputs. We call the get and remove card from deck method from the card object to play a card, and we are simply printing out the card value of and the card suit with the corresponding getters. When I run the code and I input 5, it will output 5 cards in all caps. Now we simply close the scanner. Here we have the method that creates the input file cardtype.txt. We have the file output stream, FOS, to create the input file cardtype.txt, and the print writer linked with the output stream to print every card combination in it. We have the 2 strings, card value and card suit, in a nested for loop to print every combination. For every 4 suits, the card value increases until it reaches 14, one after the amount of values in a blackjack card. At first, I used a series of ifs to print each string, but then I remembered the switch statement using the series of cases and breaks. In my opinion, I think the switch statements are more efficient with this case, but both of them work very well. We finally closed the print writer and file output stream. A learning moment I had was when I started thinking that the value of the card could be modeled as an integer. But then I remembered that the value also consisted of aces, jacks, queens, and kings instead of just numbers. Because the string class can not only store words but numbers, I decided to use the string class for the card value instead of the int type. Thank you for watching.